like she needs to go, and so she,
So Grandma Moyer was 9 months pregnant, and she was working her chores out in the barn, and she says, "I need to take some time off."
yeah, so I guess he was born in the hospital.
That's amazing.
He was the only one of us that was born in the hospital.
Yeah, but they were thrashing them.
Yeah, they were thrashing.
What
at the
is
farm.
thrashing? That sounds like it's very labor intensive.
Well, it is, because you bring all those there sheaves of wheat in, the things that they used to, the Amish still bundle them up like that. You see them sometimes in the fields, stacked up. We bring those in on the big wagon, and then they take them in the barn or the barn floor where they have this thrashing machine, and they feed them in. Like that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It pulls them in.
Yes.
And separates the wheat from the...
And so then she decided that when she had...
From my hand getting in the thrash machine.
You're kidding, I didn't know that.
I don't know where it is though anymore. Oh yeah.
You got that close.
Yeah.
Gee, that's
not the way you should do it. I don't know where it's at. But
were you supposed to be there, or were
that
you
was
just
my station?
Oh, you were actually feeding some of the wheat in?
No, what was it? Did I get the bags or something at the thrash machine? The grain would come out and the chaff or whatever.
Yeah, I know we used.
Yes.
You could change over from one bag to the other when one got full, and it would stand there. And I don't know.
But then
maybe I didn't want to do it anymore, and so I got careless.
But then Grandma Moyer went in, and she was pregnant with Merle. And did she have a housewife help her out, or a midwife, or what do they call it?
She went to the hospital.
She went to the hospital, and that's where Merle was born, in the hospital. Was that Grandview?
Yeah. And I guess then
People didn't know that she was pregnant.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, people were chubbier then, and they didn't. And they hid it a lot in those type of dresses that they wore. Then more that was more.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't know that she had a helper when she got home. Maybe her sister or somebody may have come by. Like
I had to quit school.
Did you?
At 15.
When Merle was born?
Yeah, Merle was born.
Oh, really?
He's 15 years younger.
So you had to quit school. Was that the real reason that you had to come home and help?
Well, they didn't want to make you quit school.
Yeah.
So it was...
It was a good reason to come home and help.
It was, back then girls didn't go to higher education too much, even for high school, huh?
And you didn't have much of a say in the matter. It was just, it's time to come home. Is that what it was, sort of? It was helping out.
So that was your last year, in other words,
after...
after...
mandatory quitting school.
Wow. Because now today with schools, then you have to go to your 16 years old. Then after 16, then you can drop out if you're... But at that time, it was...
That was a rule on, but because of home situations everywhere, that I would go. But then later on, of course,
Things were altogether different than they are now.
Did you enjoy school, Aunt Thelma?
I didn't put much effort into it. I would do differently, but there wasn't the encouragement to do.
Yeah, that back then.
Was it? Did people doubt their teachers or doubt the reason for education? They saw the purpose in education. It was just that there were more practical things to do at home. Is that what it was, or like?
And it wasn't quite like there, things that you worked after you left school, after you left high school, didn't require higher education. Like a lot of people went and worked in factories. Well, that was just monotonous.
You could learn that.
Back in those days, it was known if you were raised on a farm, you had a better chance of getting the job than anybody else.
In a factory or something. Or
yeah, because see, they knew you knew how to work, and that was a big thing. They say during the Depression, I'm told now, that's who got jobs during the Depression, because you could almost, a farm boy or a girl could almost run doing their job. Somebody else couldn't do it because they weren't physically able to do it because they weren't used to it. So farm kids had but nowadays that's, long time already.
Then you went after Roy was born, then where you went to the factory then, or what?
I worked in a pants factory
Yeah,
from
that's right.
16 until 21.
From six-
Pants
No,
factory.
lambs.
Yeah, where they made pants.
Well, you mean like blue jeans or like work pants? Like
No,
Dress pants?
it was part of it was a good much of amount of it was military.
oh
They
my
made
goodness.
Uniforms. They were no, it was a better grade of pants. It wasn't just a work pants. It was more of a dress type.
And do you remember how much you made every 2 weeks?
I wish I would have a copy of the pay.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. And now the thing is, when you worked there, did the money that you earned go to the family, or did you say, "Here, Mom, here, Dad, this is what I earned for the 2 weeks," or was it spending money
Are you
for it?
putting this on tape?
No, absolutely not.
Are you?
This
I
red
wanna
light
see
here, totally ignore that.
it. We'll dispense with any further discussion.
No, it's on videotape. This is fascinating. But here's a question for you. This is an easier question. Was the family house on West Broad Street, was that the house that you were all born in and raised up in? So that you knew there was never any other houses that you lived in?
You were born up in
Yeah.
somewhere, another farm up there.
Mm-hmm.
In,
On Cowpad.
yeah. And was
But
Herbert
if
born
that's
up there?
off, I'll talk. But if it's on, I
I don't see a red light on you.
This is, to me, this is fascinating.
I know, but it's not. It isn't to me.
But
I lived it.
oh, you lived it. And I'll turn it off.
It's
Is
not
that,
quite
Yeah,
like
they-
the Russians.
They
but
they say about it used to be the good old days. Well, that's
Uh,
some true and some not true because, boy, back then you worked and that was it. You didn't ask questions. You had to work,
yeah.
and it wasn't always easy. I'll tell you. But today the kids get money handed to them without doing a thing, and they're spoiled. And that's why kids are in crime and stuff because the parents are spoiling them.
Yeah.
Back then you had to work. I mean, you didn't
plus,
ask questions.
there are some families that they still work for their, you know, I mean, good homes
Yeah.
end up making,
But-
you know, each person has their business or chores and stuff to
I
do.
often wish that we'd have had as much available in training then
Uh-huh.
as is available now.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
incredible.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But we couldn't even. I mean, my dad said it many a time. When the summertime you had thrashing, you know, you're talking, you had hay put away, and that was put away loose. You worked with horses and things like that. My dad used to say, "Come on, let's eat. We got work to do." And here we were eating, and we had to eat in a hurry.
Now, I have a question for you because I saw in the movie Witness, they showed about the family eating. When did you normally have dinner? Was it late at night? Or was it like when I eat today, when I eat lunch maybe about 12 o'clock, okay? And then I'll have dinner maybe about 5 o'clock. Was that how you had it, or was it...
We didn't call it that.
What did you call it?
We didn't talk about lunch, and we ate dinner at dinner time, which was 12 noon or whatever. Not right on the button.
Yeah,
But
no.
Whenever that time was that Mother would have dinner ready, it was
At
you
noontime.
know.
Was
Yeah, noon
was
time.
noon...
Evening was supper.
Yeah, evening
Yeah.
time was supper.
Dinner was midday, supper was in the evening.
Yeah, right.
Ah.
And
Yeah,
now they
and
don't have
another
supper
thing,
anymore.
when back in those days, you had to eat because you had to work. So I take it, that dinner time was no little meal. It was a meal. It was a good meal. It had to be because you had to work. And supper time, what they call it supper time, well, that was a good meal too. It was no potato chips, a soda, and a sandwich or something like that. It was a meal because you had to work.
Now I have a question for you because over in Germany they'll have the midday meal that is the main meal of the day, and in the evening it's something a little lighter. But what you're telling me in the household when you grow up, they were two main meals. Then you had a main meal at lunchtime and in the evening. It wasn't just cold cuts and
Never.
some
No.
cheese.
No.
Oh, never.
See
Cold
that?
cuts was usually Maybe they might have made sandwiches to take out when somebody was working out in the field, but back then cold cuts weren't a big thing. Because it was now that, or if you went to work on a job, then they made a sandwich for to take along to work on it, like factories or wherever.
Sure.
You work.
And they didn't have all those restaurants that they have today, where people skip. I bring my own lunch to work, but you see some people they order out every day. They'll go out and go to a local and get a hoagie or whatever it was.
I used to do that all the time. Yeah, every day.
Well, it's like another thing anyhow, when I started to work away, which I had to, and anyhow, I had 4 sandwiches we were poor, one piece of blood in each sandwich.
Yeah.
We had 4 sandwiches because you had to have
Do you remember that too? Well, see, now he thinks that was unusual, but I believe that's the way it was.
And then there was white bread yet, which is, they say, when it goes down in your gut, it's a lump.
Okay, do you want to, is that all?
Oh, okay. This is Uncle Ed and Aunt Ruth's house here in Elizabethtown.